Fans, welcome to Sports Chat, the post-playoff editions. Of course, Campbell County is done for the year football-wise, but what a display they put on against South Dakota.
Yeah, frigid night, cold, tough to throw the ball around. Campbell County still did well, moved the ball, piled up some touchdowns, piled up some points. That last 5 minutes of the game was just as wild as a ride as you'll ever see in a football game. Cougar scored, got ahead 33-27, and unfortunately South Dakota scored 19 more points in the last couple of minutes of the game.
Well, you know, they've got Bruce. He's a UT committed. When you start talking about people that are committed to playing SEC schools, you're talking about some tough next level talent.
Well, the big thing about it, Campbell County, they looked a lot better than they did against West last year. Against West last year, that game was out of hand immediately, not competitive. Campbell County was leading 13-7 late in the second quarter in this one. Of course, leading with just a few minutes to go in this one.
We even had the blocked field goal airway this time.
Campbell County blocked the field goal. Dakota Wilson snatched it out of the air, took off, ran it back for about 95 yards. Got to have it at the one. We punched again. It was a good effort, good season. 9-3 this season, second best season in Cougar history. The Cougars are now 19-5 in the last two seasons, which is just amazing. Anyone who's ever watched this Campbell County program, and it's just now there's the great departing of that just great freshman class that came in 2010, 2011 through there. Just pretty much this generation of Cougars, and they've been here throughout the entire Matt and Justin Price era, and it's going to be a big loss of those 20 or so seniors.
Well, I mean, of course, everybody knows Ethan. Ethan owns every record, but and losing him's huge. But you're also losing Patrick Wright at center, which is big.
3-year starter.
You lose, Trey Torres, who does everything.
Spencer Roberts, the great offensive lineman, got outsized a little bit at times this year because he only had about 195 pounds. So when he wasn't contributing, full-time as much on the offensive line as he had been in some situations, he switched over and was playing the defensive line as well for a good portion, making an impact there.
Then, of course, you have Paul Cordell.
Cordell, running back, linebacker.
Turned into quite the linebacker.
You get Joseph Elkins. Everybody knows Joseph, his speed, his presence in the backfield, too. And Preston Miller, who's nearly as fast as Joseph, and probably the best defensive back on the team. Led the team in interceptions this year. It's going to be a really different team. I mean, this team it lost impact players coming into this year, but you're losing a lot of major impact players going into next year.
Yeah, it's tough, but there's a lot of people coming. You got the Roberts kid, number 3. Whose first name escapes me.
Seth Roberts.
Seth, who's sophomore.
There are the entire defensive line basically sophomores. Got Big Peyton Webb, who's a sophomore, one of his junior year. Outstanding offensive and defensive lineman.
You got Mike Rhodes, who I saw just put down some running backs.
There are people there to build around, but it's going to be a vastly different looking team, most likely. I'm not sure how open the quarterback competition will be. I'm sure that Justin and Matt, or especially Justin being the quarterback guy, he will probably open it up pretty decently. He loves to throw the ball around. Not 100% sure how much throwing you're going to get out of Josh Lay. He can throw the ball. He's capable of it, but he's mainly a running quarterback. We'll see if Justin rides his experience, his big game experience, because he's played some this year throughout the year, versus the upside. I mean, you have the upside of Rutherford, who's got the big arm. He can throw the ball around all over the field. He can make him grow. He's a big kid, but he's young.
Went through the system.
I mean, he's a freshman this year. He's played on the freshman team, the JV team, and did well. The freshman JV team did well the last few years.
Yeah, that's how you build a program.
you get a high retention of your 8th graders to come up and stay in the county and start going with that. So I don't think the program is going to fall off into an abyss. They're going to still be competitive. The defense, the core of it's going to still be there. The offense may look different if Josh Ray is in running the quarterback, and it may not look that different scheme-wise, and line-up position-wise, but it may look a lot different tough you shoot.
Right. And, you know, the district landscape has officially changed as of last Thursday.
We did indeed lose that school down south. They refused to play us any further as an out-of-conference game.
As does Halls.
Halls has no upside play us after the match we've given them last few years. But Carnes, we have to finish ahead of Carnes essentially to make the playoffs. That should have Carnes really a truly awful football program.
Right. I mean, and we keep Clinton, which is a good rivalry.
It'll be a tough match next year with Ackerson being a senior. I really hope Rodney Ellison gets a job at Powell, Bearden, somewhere in the NFL, wherever you can get one, Rodney. Oak Ridge, they'll be a beast like they always are.
Farragut, new to the schedule, but not a bad team.
Long-time powerhouse. Farragut's put players in the NFL multiple times. Multiple players have played for UT from Farragut. Really a lot of money goes into that program. And they're able to maintain an excellent facility and an excellent program. So when you have former NFL players as your alumni, they tend to get back a little bit.
Yeah, you know, when you go into their guest locker room, and it is the Bill Bates guest locker room, which I've been in before, because we used to play them as a conference team.
So they're back in the conference. Lenore City, they've had a few good years, but apparently they were downloaded this year, didn't make the playoffs. They traditionally have some really good athletes. Some of their athletes come through there and end up committing to Tennessee as well. They've had several. Travis Kozar comes to mind immediately. Of course, he had substance issues.
Well, you know.
But it's a brave landscape, new world.
Now, I do know for sure that we are opening with Gibbs next year.
Did Gibbs stay in the district?
No.
Gibbs
is going to play us as an
out-of-conference game.
And they're coming here, so no terrible drive to Gibbs.
Other out-of-conference games are up in the air now. I believe you mentioned Cotton County possibly. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm not interested in going to the chicken fries.
Austin East is on the short list.
Austin East is not a bad trip.
Knox Central is on the short list, you know, traditional.
I'm very familiar with them.
Grace Christian is on the short list.
Powerhouse program.
Beautiful facility. Great. I had the pleasure of guest announcing there. Great facilities, great people, but a tough football team.
Very. You play good teams to, be good. And it is 5 games to fill. Lane Camp has said, Union Flavor.
Yeah.
I believe said no.
So give up the best gate you have every 2 years. In fact, I talked to some former Campbell Gate coaches. The Campbell County gate was the best gate that had in probably 5 years.
Yeah, Campbell County filled the stadium. It was a miserably hot, muggy day, and still the stadium was packed. It turned out that there wasn't going to be a big reward for playing teams that close to you, so I would rather play close because we go to the games and it's a lot easier to get to them. But we'll see how it works out and see who comes on. We'll probably know the full schedule sometime. Probably next year. Maybe the next couple. Maybe longer than that. Because like I say, we've been having to build 2 out-of-conference games. So only having to build 5.
Yeah. And listen, so far Gibbs is the only one I know for sure. Gibbs is a good team to play out of conference.
Yeah, I mean, they're tough. They were really tough this year. They're good defense. They give South Doyle a good game in the first round of the playoffs. Probably more of a run versus run team this year if the quarterback race works out with Josh Lee taking the reins, which I think it probably will. But like I said, probably Justin does love to throw the ball a lot, and that's what he prefer to run his offense if he can.
And Josh is a good athlete.
Josh can hit moves. He can run the ball.
He'll do well.
It will remind me of Tuffy era. The big thing about it is our defense returns, and the was able to maintain the excellent play they had going.
Would you get the line and you get Austin range.
There's a lot of young players, but the defense can keep you in games. It's kept us in a lot of games this year. Like I said, it's a stretch of the season where the offense actually struggled a bit compared to normal. And overall, though, I mean, it's just another successful year in the books. You just have to think what you can make of it next year. That's the thing about high school. There's always a new crop coming in, just like there's always a new crop leaving.
And, you know, we're lucky enough to see the middle schools play, especially Jacksonville, since I announced it. But, you know, on the next level, the Vols look good against Kentucky.
Tennessee's in domination mode right now. I mean, even the SEC Network guys the other day were just baffled of amazement that we hadn't been playing Josh Dobbs all year long. I mean, like I said, I've been on Twitter since the first of the year, wondering how in the world Josh Dobbs can be so bad that he's not playing. Still not 100% sold on that practice excuse that Bush Jones used. It is what it is. Got some bad news as of this evening. This is Monday. We're filming this. A.J. Johnson suspended for the team for an alleged rape, sexual assault situation. We'll see if he actually gets to play anymore this year, whether his career guarantee's over, or what happened to him. I mean, it's bad as an athlete to put yourself in that situation, but if he did it, hopefully he's found guilty and pays the price for it. If he didn't do it, hopefully something that exonerating comes out of it. We just don't know. I don't know yet. But Bush Jones taking the safe route, he's suspended him, not taking the Florida State game, just saying, hey, we can play no matter what. We've got a big game against Missouri coming up. It was a sweep to blow Kentucky out, but let's be honest.
It's Kentucky.
It's Kentucky. I mean, it's funny, they started 5-1 and thought that they were just going to light the world on fire. Of course, they were playing 1AA teams and some other kind of bad teams. They start now 5-1. But to get that 5-1 start, and to see them crash like this is just extra sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Other big SEC news, very unfortunate for Tennessee, in my opinion. Florida's fired Will Muschamp.
Yeah, we kind of had that host Muschamp to stick around for a few more years. At this point, I'm hoping Florida hires dude.
Well, he might be. I mean, we'll get him out of Dallas. But I really thought that the Georgia win probably was going to save his job. But that South Carolina overtime loss just pretty much put the final nail in the coffin.
It's a crusher with the worst defense in the league. Beats you.
Yeah,
Vanderbilt maybe worse. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they've not given up as many points as South Carolina. South Carolina's got a terrible defense. Florida couldn't really score against them. So, I mean, I said Muschamp's gone. It's a really weird situation. Muschamp, if I guess he's made a lot of money at Florida. But he was pretty much had the keys to the kingdom laying on front of him there. He was going to be Texas. He was their head coach and waiting if he had waited another year or two. And who knows whether it works out any different for him. Frankly, he's a pretty terrible coach from what I can tell. I mean, Florida has never lacked talent since he's been there. Florida's had elite talent his entire career.
I imagine there's tons of Longhorn fans breathing a sigh of relief that he didn't get it.
No, they're probably breathing a sigh of relief between wanting to kill Charlie Strong, who's not had a really good season this year. But it's just bad news. I mean, there's no telling who Florida's liable to hire. Or like they'll hire Jim Harbaugh, who's apparently going to really lead the San Francisco 49ers.
Maybe they'll hire Fulmer.
But it's likely that there will be some stiff competition for Florida in the coaching world because Michigan's most assuredly going to be looking for a coach. If South Carolina if San Francisco does fire Jim Harbaugh, they may look to the college ranks again because they've got Jim Harbaugh at the college ranks.
Worked pretty well for them.
Rebuild almost immediately. It's not that they're bad now, but apparently he just butts heads a lot with the management of the 49ers. And at the end of the day, winning or not, you still have a boss. They have big egos. Hopefully Florida ends up having to hire somebody that works out just as poorly as Muschamp did. Unfortunately for Tennessee, we got the entire Muschamp there and still couldn't beat them because we had the incompetence of Dooley and
baffling not playing
with Dobbs this year, which I feel was probably produced a win over the Cougars. But it just all, we'll see how it works out. I did see the SEC Network announcers talk about Tennessee actually beat Kentucky 50-13. They proclaimed Tennessee the favorite for the East next year. And actually proclaimed Dobbs an early Heisman candidate. And with the way he's playing right now, you can't bet against him really. I mean, he's dominating.
Oh, he's got some phenomenal talent.
He will return as a good portion of our offense next year. We're playing Tennessee's set for the next few years as long as nothing really crazy goes on. Which is the way luck's going. There will be some kind of scandal or something all the time.
I mean, Hurd looks good at running back.
Hurd is not as explosive as I'd hoped he would be. I mean, they said he ran a 4.34, 4.40, but I've not saw the burst that a Jamal Lewis had. I mean, Jamal Lewis was a big running back like that. That once he got by, he was gone. There was no catching him. I saw Hurd ran down. Hurd still, for his size, an excellent running back. He's about the size of Eric Dickerson. He was one of the greatest running backs who ever played football. And I think Hurd can get it done. Dobbs, young receivers all over the place, young offensive line, young defense getting more experience.
Hey, another one looks good as far as those freshmen goes, Todd Kelly Jr.
Oh, Kelly Jr.'s had an excellent season this year. Tennessee's got a lot coming back. And this top 5 freshman class from last year will be sophomores. Roll into those big defensive tackles. Hopefully, Khalil McKenzie. It's tough to transition over and start on the defensive line, especially at tackle, but he's the best recruit in the country, so hopefully he can come in and make a little bit of impact at least towards the end of the year. And it's setting up next year that the way that they look, unless there's a regression, that 8, 9 wins wouldn't surprise me at all. With maybe more upside than that, but Oklahoma's tailed off a little bit this year. Who knows how good they'll be next year when they come to New York. I think that we would have had a good shot at beating them with Dobbs this year.
I mean, Dobbs is a game changer.
Worley had
really
3 or 4 turnovers in the red zone. I mean, Worley dropped the ball in the end zone while we were coming out of it. Gave Oklahoma 7. Well, I think Worley may have thrown a touchdown for an interception. I think that was maybe a story. Worley threw a touchdown to Oklahoma. They ran back 90-something yards. And he had 2 other turnovers. He took about 20, 25 points off the board just with turnovers. And we lost, of course. The schedule sets up pretty decently this year. Other than that,
Cougar basketball is tipping off, but and for the most part, they don't play a home game.
there will be a home tournament for Thanksgiving that the boys are playing in.
And there's one other home game.
They'll be playing in Anderson County. Otherwise, it'll be January before you get to see the Cougars in action up here on the Campbell County hardwood. But we'll be getting ready to get into more in-depth basketball coverage. I have a couple of articles I'm getting ready to write about a couple of players, we'll introduce them throughout the season over from now and the end of February. We'll try to look at everybody on the teams. Have coaches interviews up here on the channel, on the Times page with both Brad and Matt. We'll try to get more coverage, some post-game interviews with them throughout the season. And otherwise, it's feast season.
It is.
We're about to go feast off some more Papa John's pizza.
Fans, we'll see you next time on the Sports Channel.